Well, it has been way too long since the last video, and as I have been promising on the Facebook page, I said I would shoot a video saying real quick as to why I've been gone for so long, and here it is. But before I get into that, I want to give you a little teaser, so you stay till the end. See that? All those cartoon characters. Drew them myself with reference, but I'll get into that later. That's for the end. I'm going to start here. I'm going to work backwards to the point when I kind of stopped doing this. Today, my wife and I are very, very pleased and very happy to be renting to a wonderful young family of four. They just gave us the deposit on a property that we fixed up for the past several months. And that was one of the main factors as to why I haven't been here doing videos like this, is because we purchased this investment property a month or two before October 2018. And we thought we'd be in and out, easy peasy. We should have known better because it just doesn't work out that way. Any project you work on, you should always factor it taking 10 times longer, costing 10 times more, and requiring 10 times more energy. And actually that's, what is it, the 10X rule? If you get a chance, Grant Cardone wrote a book called the 10X rule, and should have read that before we started this one. But anyway, so we have been putting most of our time and energy and effort into getting that place ready. And it all kind of started in the bathroom. There's just, couldn't see how much rot was in the walls and the floor until I tore the tub surround out, and it exposed a proverbial can of worms. So it became a complete gut job. So an $80 to $100 fix quickly ballooned into well over $2,000 just for that room alone. So, but it was worth it. All the blood, sweat, and tears leading up to today. Like I said, the deposit's in. Wonderful family. I'm excited. They seem great, and just I don't know, and just they're awesome. So there's that, and then. Go back a little ways. A couple of weeks ago, my wife and I found out we're expecting our second child. So that's very scary and exciting, thrilling and nerve-wracking. All just so much going on there. Just I can't wait. We have our son. He's 9, so there's a little bit of a gap between the two. He's excited about being a big brother. He's hoping for a boy. We don't really have a preference, and we're going to play it like we did with our son. We were just as surprised. Well, I guess the doctors already knew because they did the ultrasound, but we were surprised as to whether our son was going to be a boy or a girl. And we're going to do the same thing with this new arrival. So there's that, and I guess it's exciting, but now that we're done with the investment property, we can get our own house in order because it is by far not child-proof or baby-proof. We moved in when my son was about 3-ish. So he's already had about 3 years of smacking his head off things to prepare him for our house here. Because we have the stone fireplace, we have a wood stove, and really just kind of like no-go baby zones. So a lot of prep there, but anyway, a little further back, see, about a month and a half ago to that, I developed vertigo out of nowhere. I stood up off the couch one day and felt dizzy. Not a big deal. Felt it a second time that day. And then the very following night, getting ready for bed, I laid down in bed, and when I put my back and head on the pillow, I felt the need to throw my hands. I didn't throw them out, but I almost did. If you're ever on a rocking chair or something like that, leaning back, and somebody grabs it and you get that like jerk because you think you're going down, that's the sensation, that physical sensation that I had. So went to the PCP, and then they recommended an ear, nose, and throat, and an audiologist for the ears to see if it's inner ear, X-ray, MRI. And then I have a history of migraines, so the two exacerbated each other. I was getting dizzy, it'd give me a migraine. If I had a migraine, I'd get dizzier. So battling that for about a month and a half, I'm happy to report that I'm almost completely vertigo-free. I think mine was more of a cervical vertigo, which deals with the posture of the neck. as opposed to the position of the head to gravity. So it wouldn't matter where I was at. If I was bending my head up and to the right, because working on the investment property, I was painting, and I almost fell off a ladder. I'd get sick. So that really slowed the progress down there. So tenants, pregnancy, vertigo, and let's go right back to October 2018, mid-October, and that's kind of where things started slowing down for me in the shop. That month, I think it's the 21st. I think it's 21st. I'd have to check. I forget numbers easy, but my father passed away, and it took about a week for my wife and I, with the help of my brother and sister-in-law, to get my mother's and father's effects in order. My mother called me the day he passed away, the morning of. He passed in his sleep. She called me about 9 a.m. and crying. She's like, "Come down here fast. I think he's dead." So we got dressed real quick. We drove down. We could walk. It's a short distance, but I wanted to get there really quick. I walked into the room where my father was at. His health has been, well, quite frankly, fading over the years. He was pretty much confined to a wheelchair at the end of his life. He was a heavy drinker, liver issues, never on dialysis, but close. It was unexpectedly expected, his passing, but we always thought it would probably be in the hospital, not like kind of suddenly, because like the day before he was fine, but at night he passed in his sleep. I walked into the room. He was in the hospital bed, because we got him a hospital bed. My mother's sitting in the wheelchair next to the bed. I'm crying. I looked over at my father's face and I smiled. I knew he had passed. But that was the best he has looked in, I'd say, the last year or so. He just looked at peace. There was no anguish, no more turmoil, no more struggle. In fact, the tray, his little TV dinner tray, was still on his lap. And he had, I think it might have been McDonald's, maybe a chicken sandwich or something, still wrapped. He never ate his food. He just went to sleep, never woke up. And it was very beautiful. I called my brothers. They came over, called some more family members, some friends. And mind you, that was 9 a.m. I already contacted the funeral home, and they came in about 5 p.m. that day to pick my father's body up. But we had the viewing right there. It was so organic. It wasn't a sad time in my life. It was actually quite a joy. I miss my father. I do. But I was fortunate enough, the family was fortunate enough to see such a peaceful parting. We've had some tragedies in our family. We've had accidents take family members. An accident took my cousin. That's sudden, and that's very hard to deal with. There's suicide in the family. So been around not pleasant ways to go, but seeing my father go like that was just, I don't know, kind of still makes me smile seeing his face, the ease on his face. So getting their effects in order afterwards. My mother's not always the most organized person. Tote after tote of paperwork. So my wife, brother, and sister-in-law, they all just went through these papers, the stacks of them, and my wife did all the phone calls to contact different insurances and disability and black lung, and she just was phenomenal. She really stepped her game up. I took care of all the funeral expenses and stuff, and trying to get the monies in order, and then we had my father cremated as he wanted. And we actually buried him on our property here next to our pond, because that's what he wanted. And we did it. It was so small. It was even smaller than a viewing, just very few people there. And he drank Genesee, Jenny Light. He always wanted to be buried in a Jenny box, so that's what we did. We took the cardboard box that the Jenny cases came in, the little brown box. We set that down in the bottom of the shallow grave. We put the urn with his ashes in it, and we covered it up. And I don't know the name of the song. I call it Blue Neon Moon by Brooks and Dunn. He always wanted that played at his funeral. So my cousin streamed that over his Android phone and shed a few tears, quite a few laughs, and yeah. Oh, and one of the best parts about the day that he passed was the organic nature of it. Food started showing up. It was almost like a party. It was a celebration. And typically, you go to a funeral, it's all sad and stuff, but the grandkids were wrestling in the living room. Cartoons were on. People were in the room where my father's body was still on display, just where he passed away. My aunt was sitting at the foot of the bed eating a slice of pizza while somebody was in my dad's wheelchair, and we were all just gathered in there. And it was honestly just, I didn't want to, I wish I would have recorded some of it, to be quite honest. I didn't, just because I didn't want to ruin the moment, but I wish I could have captured the moment at the same time, because it was seriously one of the most beautiful passings, and I can only hope that my passing is as beautiful as my father's. So that was kind of the catalyst. Again, the investment property was the main reason, but that was just kind of like the start of it. Just things started piling on from there. So let's see, we're at about 11.5 minutes. This is my shortest take yet, and I'm going to run with this one. And I told you I was going to explain to you what I've been doing here. In some of my other videos, I think I've told you that I'm not a fan of drawing. I like art, but I don't like drawing. It has always frustrated me. I try to do too much perfection, and I get frustrated when I can't attain it, achieve it. So something switched in me. About a month and a half ago, I started doing these 30-day challenges. This one was a 30-day challenge of drawing at least one cartoon character a day from my favorite cartoons throughout my life. Princess Mononoke, Ren and Stimpy. I copied these. I had reference. It wasn't something I drew out of my head. So I went ahead and I did that. I have over 30 characters in here. I'll show you some of the... Got Marie here from Aristocats. I really like the line work on that one. Totoro, my son, 9. He corrects me all the time on how to say that. Darkwing Duck. And then I started doing my own work. Little squirrel heel. Yeah, heel. Little squirrel. Oh my God. A little squirrel here. Let's try that again. And a raven. It's a classic right there. So I've been really enjoying doing these. And what clicked for me was allowing myself to mess up and still be okay with it, not having to be absolutely perfect. And that gave me the freedom to screw up, but it also gave me the freedom to expand and grow. So I started trying to do my own renditions of things. This is a xenomorph, an alien from the Alien franchise, one of my favorite movie franchises of all time. This is my own take on it. I was looking at a still shot from the movie. And I'm showing you this. Typically I would not, because I'm not pleased with it as far as the execution, but I want to show you. That's a really scary Beetlejuice, and it's scary for the wrong reasons. But I think you should see it because it needs work. And instead of burying it, ripping it out, or tearing it up, scribbling over it, I'm embracing the parts that I need to improve. And I'm actually starting to improve quite a bit when it comes to the dry media, pencils and stuff. I've been using colored pencils. Kind of a graphic take on a nice little buck right there. And then I love this. Sat down, and I have never had the urge to sit down and draw. Like, as far back as I can remember, I don't think I've ever went, I need to draw today. I'm starting to get urges to sit down and draw. So going through, finished my 30-day challenge, and I started immediately the very next day doing another 30-day challenge. And what I'm doing now is I'm copying, looking at a photo, copying 30 of my favorite artists' work. I'm probably going to butcher some of the names of it. Here's a beautiful illustration from a girl named Luish. That's what she goes by. I don't know if that's a real name or like a pen name, stage name. I don't know what you would call that. Pseudonym. But her work is phenomenal. And so that's it, Loish. Look her up. Her work is stellar, magnificent. This is Jason Thielke, I believe. Thielke, maybe? Thielke? Thielke? I don't know. He does this very like graphic, broken up. Again, I'm not doing my own stuff in their style. I'm copying close to exactly what they're doing. Trying my own. This looks like I took a diseased killer whale and slapped it on the top of a shark. That's supposed to be like the sun, the light rays reflecting off the skin, but it just looks like a diseased killer whale from there up, and then it's like baby shark, dark, baby, whatever. Again, I typically wouldn't show people that, but you don't grow. Oh, 16 and a half minutes. I know you guys probably just want me to shut up, but it's been a while since I did a video and I want to give you some good content. Audrey Kawasaki. I absolutely love her work. She does a lot of work like this on wood panels, where you can see the wood grain, very ethereal, very delicate, very soft. Scotty Young, his rendition of Mega Man. Had to do this one. If you get a chance, check Scotty Young out. He is illustrated for Marvel. I discovered him. He did Marvel covered The Wizard of Oz, and they did a graphic novel version of it. And Scotty Young's interpretation of the characters is just, oh. Let's see, I got a few more here I'll share with you. This one's hard to see. It's Mark Ryden. Mark Ryden. Probably butchering the names, but that's okay. It's not my strong suit. Cute little character. He does these really beautiful furry creatures. He did this like little pencil drawing and I copied. Bear with me. Can't do 30 days without doing Da Vinci. Leonardo is a master at what he does. Here's his own self-portrait, and I copied it. And I struggle with eyes, but I was able to really capture, I think, the life that he captured in his original self-portrait. And bear with me, I know it's 18 minutes into this, but I think it needs to be a little long here because I'm really getting back into it. So, and Picasso. This was a study he did for one of his paintings. And so the reason why I'm sharing all of this now in this very long video is because, one, I wanted to give you a little background as to why I haven't been here. I want to give you a little maybe foreshadowing of what's to come. Hopefully I'll be including not just metal work in the future. Hopefully I can do some speed drawings, maybe even some speed paintings, but just creativity in general. So look forward to that. If you'd like to see that, I want to kind of branch out, because if I'm only shooting video for what I'm doing in the workshop, then I'm probably not going to have a whole lot of content. So I'm going to fill it with other things, but it's all going to be centered around art, expression, and creativity. You'll see the struggles with the ups and the downs and all of that. So again, sorry for being so long, almost 20 minutes into it. Please put some comments down below if you think videos like this are too long, or if you like them. Let me know either way and I'll adjust. Also, click the like button, the subscribe button, and there's a little bell next to the subscribe. You have to click that to get notifications of any new videos. So hopefully you'll hear that notification go off a few times a week. And if you haven't seen me already, look me up on Facebook and Instagram, Kid Rust. And stay tuned for some more work, and hope to get another video out here real quick once my shop's back in order, because it's a disaster. But till then, I'm Kid Rust. Take care.